Alright y'all, welcome to another edition of Shop Time. If you've been watching the channel, you know that I've been trying to figure out a way to make some sort of pellet out of some of the sweet feed that I've been making. Well, I got an idea, but I've had ideas in the past and they've always wound up crappy. I tried to find a formula that it would make the sweet feed bind pretty good, or bind together pretty good. And I was talking to my dad and some stuff, and he was giving me some ideas and stuff. We both kind of come up with maybe flour being a binding agent. So I got some flour or cornstarch, anything to make it bind together, make these grains bind together. So I tried some last week, and it seems like it's holding up pretty good. That's it right there. I mean, I can roll it around in my finger right there, on my hand. It seems like it holds up pretty good. I can bounce it off of there. It doesn't shatter apart or anything. So if I can make it kind of into a powder, I tried running it through the meat grinder again. It's still not a very good and efficient way of doing it. All it does is just kind of clog up. Matter of fact, that's where these came from. It kind of clogged up into a brick, and I just kind of broke the brick apart. But it seems like it holds together pretty good with the flour. So flour seems to be a decent binding agent. It's not optimal, but it seems like it's holding up pretty good. Now, it's still not helping me out any. And I won't have to clean out of their meat grinder every time I want to grind up make some pellets. See, that's a big piece right there. So it seems like it holds up pretty good together. What I'm going to try to do, and success or failure, I'm going to post this video. If it sucks, I'm going to admit that it sucks, because I've done some pretty sucky stuff in the past and it hadn't worked out. I've done some stuff that I didn't think would work out that worked out pretty good. So I'm going to build, I'll tell you what, let me turn you around. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this board right here. There's two boards here. I'm going to take this top board and drill some big holes in it. Okay, because I want it to compress tight. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill some holes in this and kind of use this as a roller press. I mean, I got what did I do with that big dowel? Anyway, I got a big dowel. What did I do with that thing? Anyway, I got a big dowel around here somewhere I can use kind of like a rolling pin. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drill some holes in this. Okay, and I'm going to work that stuff back and forth just to see how well it will work. If it works out pretty good, then I'll try to automate it some way, shape, or form. But I want to see how the theory works, because that's how a pellet mill works. Really, it's just a big can. It's round, and it's got two big rollers on it with two big. It looks like it's not rolling pins. It's got two big bearings on either side, and all it does is run around, packing and packing and packing and packing, and then it squirts it out kind of like spaghetti. It just falls out in the bottom. A little pellet does. There's no length to it. I mean, some of them are this long, some of them are that long. It just depends on how much you're able to pack in that hole. So I'm gonna try a theory here and see how well that works. And like I said, success or failure, I'm gonna I'm gonna post it regardless. If it sucks, it sucks. If it don't, hey, that's better. Okay, this is what I come up with. All these little dots, all these little marks are where a hole that I've drilled. Okay, it's 5/16 hole, I think. I think that's the bit that I use, 5/16 hole. So I've got this, and what I've been doing is just kind of rolling it back and forth, I probably should have put some flour on this, because this stuff that I'm putting, the sweet feed stuff that I've mixed up is really kind of gummy. So I'm gonna clean this off. It looks like it's taken. I mean, I don't know. I haven't pushed any of them through to see how well the pellets are, but it looks like they're trying to make pellets there. So if this does work, it'd be good. I'd be happy, and I'd find a way to kind of automate it or make it a little bit easier to use anyway. But that's the pellets coming out of the other side. These are the pellets that I'm pushing down in there. What I've been doing is just taking some, kind of putting it right there, and kind of doing that with all of them, and then just kind of rolling it over. And like I said, you can tell it's coming off on my little dowel here. I mean, this is an extremely crude mock-up, okay? I'm just kind of trying to see. First of all, I want to see how wet this stuff is. I mean, it was powder dry. I mean, it was really dry. I wish I had. Here's some right here. This stuff right here, I mean, it's really kind of dry stuff. I mean, I can pick it up and it just falls through my hand. But it's not, you know, it's not dry. So all that, anytime you're pressing that stuff together, you're pressing the moisture out of it also. So you got to take that into consideration whenever you're doing it. But like I said, this is an extremely crude mock-up, and I'm just basically just seeing how well this kind of thing would work. And maybe I'll get to a point where I can actually, you know, make a pellet machine, maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to do a little research right now. Darn bug fell on my arm. But that's where I'm at right now. I just wanted to show you this right quick. Okay, I'm able to push the packed feed that I got in these holes, these little peg holes here. I've got them packed out. I've got them packed, and I'm able to get a little dowel through there to push them out. And this is the result. Ain't much. But once that stuff dries, it ought to harden up and be pretty good anyway. Actually, somewhat resembles a pellet. Don't look like it to me. I guess it's not how many you do, in my case. It's how you do them. I mean, this is definitely not a long-term, you know, deal there, but, you know, at least the theory is sound anyway. I mean, they're held together pretty decent. I mean, if you think about it, it's a third grader invention here. I don't know. That's a little overwhelming, I guess, a little undaunting. Kind of reminds you of Francisco Pizarro. He was the one that conquered the Incas. And the Incas were actually known, their leader was actually known as the Inca, and all of his followers were known as Incas, followers of the Inca. Well, what was that? Oh. Well, anyway, Francisco Pizarro, he didn't have a tremendous army behind him, but he knew strategy. And even though their weapons were far more advanced than what the Incas were used to, there were over 6 million Incas at the time whenever he decided to conquer them. I mean, of course, he was after gold, but hold on, let me turn you around. Y'all seen enough of this crap, haven't you? Yeah. So the Incas were actually followers of the Inca. That's what they were called. And like I said, there was over 6 million of them. And Francisco Pizarro, whenever he was trying to whenever he decided to conquer them, I mean, he knew that they had to have something, you know, something precious to sustain them, so they could use it for trade with not only, well, mostly, you know, amongst themselves and with other tribes. And so he knew that they had to have some gold somewhere. Well, he knew they probably had a lot of gold. So what he decided to do, instead of trying like a full-on assault, he tricked, oh, what's the guy's name? I can't think of the Inca's emperor name at the time. But anyway, they tricked the emperor, and they took him captive and staged a tremendous bloodbath, you know, for all of his guards and everybody else, you know. And he was able to conquer the nation of 6 million Incas and he only had 150 men. Like I said, even though his, the munitions at the time were far more advanced, that's still a lot now. It just goes to show you, it's not really how many you kill, but who you kill. It's not exactly how many you defeat, it's who you defeat. After that, the entire Inca culture went into disarray and was not able to ever bounce back from it after that. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to take over the doggone pellet business. One pellet at a time. Oh, thanks for watching.